The most brutal part of getting sober is the agonizing internal work it takes to finally forgive yourself. You have to sit in the quiet, look at the mess you made, do the time, put in the reps, and actually decide you are worthy of a second chance. And sometimes God forgives you. Sometimes your spouse finally looks at you and forgives you. But here is the hardest part of rewriting your life. Even after you've forgiven yourself, the world can be incredibly, frustratingly slow to update your story. People don't want to learn the new you because it makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to look at their own lack of growth, so they keep you in a box. They still call you by who you used to be. They wait for the messy, unreliable version of you to show back up because that version was easier for them to understand and control. My name is Megan. I drank for 21 solid years before I finally got sober on July 10th, 2023. When you do something for over 2 decades, it stops being just a habit and becomes your entire personality. It becomes the exact lens through which everyone you know views you. A lot of people want to talk about the physical withdrawals of quitting drinking, the sleepless nights, the shakes, the physical cravings. But honestly, the physical detox is pretty much almost the easy part. It lasts a few weeks. I need to talk about the brutal emotional reality that lasts long after the alcohol leaves your system. Because putting the bottle down is just the starting line. The real battle, the one that actually takes people out, is outgrowing the identity that the world, your old friends, and your unhealed trauma forced onto you. When you get sober, you change the dynamic, and everyone around you will often try to shove the old, messy, predictable version of you back into the box because your new boundaries make them wildly uncomfortable. If you feel stuck playing a role you didn't fit anymore, if you are exhausted from wearing an identity that feels 2 sizes too small just to keep other people happy, this video is exactly for you. I grew up in deep trauma. I've felt abandoned, unprotected, unloved, not good enough. And here is the brutal reality. When you grow up in chaos, you don't magically wake up one day and choose healthy. You choose what you know. You choose the devil you are familiar with. When your baseline is screaming matches and instability, peace doesn't feel relaxing. It feels terrifying. You survive the only way you understand how, which means you often recreate the exact chaos you are trying to escape just because it feels like home. I ended up in painful, destructive situations for decades because that's exactly what unhealed trauma does. It wires your nervous system for survival, not safety. You aren't looking to thrive. You are just looking for a way to turn the volume down in your head. So I drank. I chose the wrong path. Alcohol became my predictable form of self-destruction. But the part that absolutely wrecked me wasn't the drinking. It was what happened when I tried to change, when I finally got sober, when I finally found people who truly loved me, who forgave me, who didn't hold me hostage to my past. A lot of other people still did. They still defined me by my worst chapters. They acted like I would always be the exact same broken little girl. Why? Because my growth held a mirror up to their lack of it. If I could get sober and change my life, they had no more excuses for staying stuck. So instead of doing their own work, they weaponized my past to try and drag me back down to a level they felt comfortable with. So I'm going to give you a few steps. Step 1, accept the human, reject the label. It is incredibly hard to grow up feeling imperfect, unguided, and never good enough. When your nervous system is on fire from the time you are a kid, you grab whatever water you can find to put it out, even if that water is toxic. Think about it. When a house is burning down, you don't check if the water in the bucket is filtered. You just throw it on the flames. That's exactly what childhood trauma does. It strips away your ability to make optimal or healthy choices because you are just trying to make it to tomorrow. But let me say this clearly. When you choose the wrong path because of that deep, unhealed pain, it doesn't make you unredeemable. It makes you human. You were surviving. People look at the drinking and the chaos and they call you weak or broken. They don't realize that these toxic habits were the only armor you had against a world that was tearing you apart. It was a terrible solution to a catastrophic problem, but at the time, it was the only solution you had. But surviving is not the same as living, and a coping mechanism is not a character flaw. You have to separate what you did from who you are. Yes, you made selfish choices in survival mode. Yes, you hurt people, own it. But owning your actions doesn't mean internalizing them as your permanent identity. You do not owe the world a lifetime of apologies for the mess you made while you were bleeding. Apologizing forever just keeps you chained to the past. True accountability is changing your behavior. You do not have to live in your shame. You do not have to carry your guilt forever like it's some twisted badge of honor. Drop the bag. And listen, before I give you the next 2 steps on how to actually rebuild your identity, if you are battling shame from your past, I'm going to give you some steps to help change your identity. Step 1, accept the human, reject the label. It is incredibly hard to grow up feeling imperfect, unguided, and never good enough. When your nervous system is on fire from the time you are a kid, you grab whatever water you can find to put it out, even if that water is toxic. Think about it. When a house is burning, you don't check if the water in the bucket is filtered. You just throw it on the flames. That's exactly what childhood trauma does. It strips away your ability to make optimal and healthy choices because you are just trying to make it to tomorrow. But let me say this clearly. When you choose the wrong path because of that deep, unhealed pain, it doesn't make you unredeemable. It makes you human. We are all human and we make mistakes. You were surviving. I was surviving. People look at the drinking and the chaos and they call you weak or broken or many other names. They don't realize that those toxic habits were the only armor you had against a world that was tearing you apart. It was a terrible solution to a catastrophic problem, but at the time, it was the only solution you had. But surviving is not the same as living, and a coping mechanism is not a character flaw. You have to separate what you did from who you are. Yes, you made selfish choices in survival mode. Yes, you hurt people. Own it. But owning your actions doesn't mean internalizing them as your permanent identity. You do not owe the world a lifetime of apologies for the mess you made while you were bleeding. Apologizing forever just keeps you chained to the past. True accountability is changing your behavior. You do not have to live in your shame. You do not have to carry your guilt forever like it's some twisted badge of honor. Drop the bag. And listen, before I give you the next 2 steps on how to actually rebuild your identity, if you are battling shame from the past right now, hear me, you can reroute your life, but you don't have to do it alone. If you need a community of people walking alongside you while you rewrite your story, I'm here. You can either book a 0 pressure coaching call with me using the link in the description, or you can join our private members community where we have a 24/7 group chat. Okay, back to it. Step 2. Become unfamiliar to your old self. To actually heal, you have to become completely unfamiliar to the version of you that once self-sabotaged. You have to understand why that sabotage happens in the first place. Here's the brutal biological truth. When you are wired for trauma, your brain becomes addicted to cortisol. Chaos feels like home. Peace feels terrifying. When your life has been a constant fire drill, a quiet Tuesday night feels like a trap. Your brain screams, danger is coming, so what do? The second things get quiet, you are tempted to blow up your life just to get back to the familiar baseline of chaos. You create the emergency so you can feel in control of it. You have to fight the urge with everything you have. You have to stop hurting yourself just to prove old, broken stories true. The old Megan would have reached for a bottle, lashed out, started an argument out of nowhere, or burned a bridge just to feel something. But the new you has to do the hardest thing in the world, sit in the uncomfortable, boring, quiet, and choose a different input. You have to learn that boring actually just means safe. You can stop running from the people who actually love you just because their love doesn't come with the toxic highs and lows you're used to. Trauma may explain your past, but it does not get to dictate your future. Your past is not a life sentence. It's just data. Use it. You have to actively build an identity so undeniable, so grounded, and so strong that the old you wouldn't even recognize the person in the mirror. You have to let the old version of you die so the sober, strong version can finally breathe. And step 3, let them be wrong. We are not stuck as the girl everyone used to know. We are allowed to evolve. I know a lot of you do not think that, but we are allowed to evolve and outgrow our past. We are allowed to heal. We are allowed to completely outgrow our old identity, whether you think so or not. And when you actually do this, when you finally draw a line in the sand and change, it will make people incredibly angry. Why? Because your growth holds up a blinding mirror to their lack of it. When you stop drinking, their drinking suddenly looks like a problem. When you stop participating in the drama, their chaotic lives become painfully obvious. If people refuse to drop the labels they put on you, if they constantly insist on bringing up your darkest days or your past mistakes, you have to understand something. That is their defense mechanism. It is their problem. It's not yours. They are trying to shrink you back down to a size that makes them feel comfortable. Do not shrink. The biggest mistake I see people make in sobriety is trying to run a PR campaign for their new life. They exhaust themselves trying to convince people from their past that they've changed. Stop. Let them be wrong about you. Let them keep the old, broken, messy version of you alive in their heads because you don't live there anymore. It takes a massive amount of power to let someone misunderstand you and not feel the need to correct them. Let them talk. Let them judge that 28 version of you while the 2026 version of you is out here actually winning. You are not your worst decision. You are not your past mistakes. You are not your trauma. Are sure as hell not your old coping mechanisms. You are exactly who you choose to become next, and you answer to absolutely no one but the person you are building. Sobriety taught me this by clearing the fog, but doing the brutal, exhausting trauma work is what permanently reinforced it. Sobriety was just putting down the weapon. The trauma work was actually healing the bullet hole. You do not have to stay the same person everyone remembers. People will always try to hand you the script of your old life because it makes them feel safe. Refuse to read those lines. Let them be confused by your peace. Let them be offended by your boundaries. Redemption is real, and it's not some fairy tale. It is a tangible asset you build through thousands of tiny, boring, difficult decisions when no one is watching. But you have to stop running from it. You have to accept that getting healthy means outgrowing rooms you used to shrink yourself to fit into. You have to draw a hard line in the sand and stop letting people who haven't grown drag you back down to a level you've already conquered just so they don't have to face their own reflection. Your past is a chapter, not a life sentence. It is data, not your destiny, and it certainly does not get to dictate your future unless you hand it the pen. You have the absolute power to completely reroute your life, and you don't need anyone's permission to start the pivot today. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, you might lose people who prefer the old, broken you. Let them go. Keep fighting ruthlessly for the person you are becoming. Keep showing up for the life you actually deserve. Keep writing your story one disciplined decision at a time. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, please like and subscribe and comment any questions you have or what you want to see in the next video.